Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, everybody, for joining today. This webinar is hosted by Investaureum and the Consultancy. So we have Zaki, Program Manager of Golden Design Investaureum in Bangladesh, with us live from London. Mikhail from Office Asia Desk, and myself, Nicolas managing partner of Investaureum and Golden Visa Consultancy. So this webinar has proposed to educate or fellow immigration practitioners that are based in with us here, able to enlarge the scope with the immigration market. Maybe Zaki will take the floor, make a short introduction, and after we move on with the presentation, allowing us to have attendees join. I know that it's going to take maybe 1-2 minutes for people to join.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you for joining. I'm here, as Nick said, from London, but I'm the managing partner for Bangladesh. Again, as Nick introduced, my colleague Kel is also joining with us both. So if everybody's joined, in a minute or so, we will start.
Thank you. Yes. So look, just for us to, I'm sorry, this is the constraint of the live technology. I'm hearing a little bit of echo. If we can just make sure that we solve this, will be great. So let's start and move a little bit on the presentation. Give us 2 seconds.
Okay, so I think we can start.
Okay, great.
Okay. Again, welcome everyone. We at Golden Visa are next. If you can go to the next slide. We are essentially immigration practitioners. Next, please. It brings together experience of about 17 years. Nick, who's joining us, the founder and the CEO. And we have been active throughout the world. And recently we're trying to engage with partners such as yourselves in Bangladesh to expand the ever-increasing demand of such services in Bangladesh. Next. You know, overall, this is a global statistic. So there's about 47 million people who are our target in terms of their needs for a second citizenship or a residency. Portion of that, this is global statistics, but in Bangladesh being a large country, as you will see in the subsequent slide, in terms of population, the need is ever increasing. Next. This is a world map of millionaires. So this essentially our target market is of that of high net worth individuals who are successful in their professions, looking for a second residency or a citizenship. And this map depicts various countries and the number of millionaires that are there. Interestingly, Bangladesh is not there, but Bangladesh has one of the fastest growing number of millionaires in the country, as you all are aware. Next. So this image depicts where they're actually immigrating to. The popular destinations, as you can see, are Canada, Caribbean, US, Portugal, and other parts of Europe. And we address these needs holistically. We are able to provide services, as my colleagues will explain. Due to the time limitation in this, due to the time limitation today, we will not be able to go through all the plans that we do, but we hope to address the major ones that have demand in Bangladesh. Next. This is an interesting statistic. Some of you might have already been seen this in the newspapers. It was widely covered. That Bangladesh is the leader in terms of increase in high net worth individuals. So the number of millionaires in Bangladesh is increasing at a very rapid pace. So the cumulative annual growth rate is about 11%. So year on year, as the economy is increasing, as you know, the GDP has been consistently high in Bangladesh over the past 10 years of over 8%. So with that, businesses are growing, prices of land is increasing. And as the prices of land increase, the number of millionaires are also increasing, which means our target market is ever expanding. Next. This image kind of depicts the statistic. If you look at it, Vietnam is taking the lead in South and Southeast Asia in terms of growing number of applications from citizenship by investment, but Bangladesh is growing as well. So it's an interesting time in Bangladesh. As you will see, with the companies going bigger, there's more investment coming from abroad. There are more businessmen who are able to qualify for citizenship by investment from Bangladesh. Next. You know, these are primary motivations when people immigrate. You know, what are people looking at? They're looking at things like education for kids, healthcare. Some are looking to optimize taxation, mobility, ability to travel to different countries without the need for visa, quality of life, and things of that nature, as this in, and security as well. But post-COVID, now the situation has changed. Now, you know, I have many friends and colleagues who are looking at a second citizenship even more seriously than they did before, especially considering the healthcare needs of their family. It could even be for their aged parents. So different programs that we have would allow you to also take dependents with you, including parents. So that my colleagues will explain later. So that has become ever more important. Many countries have stopped issuing visas, but those who have dual citizenships are able to still travel at this point with visa-free access. So we are looking to target that market. And I believe the need now is even more so than it was at the start of the year. If you talk around, people are looking at a second home. People are looking at the opportunity to legally live in other countries and travel freely throughout the world. Next. So with the second citizenship, of course, it gives you, the biggest thing is mobility. Other than residency, security, and healthcare, which we talked about, is mobility. So these are the programs that we cover. UK, Bulgaria, Portugal, Malta. You will see in this chart where each of the programs allow you to travel without visa. For example, as you can see in Portugal, which is one of the most powerful passports in the world, you can virtually go, other than China on the list, you can virtually go everywhere without the need to apply for a visa. The ETA is just an online form that's very simple to fill out before traveling. And ETA is, for example, in Australia, is almost issued within 5 to 10 minutes of applying. So this is just a formality for their record keeping purposes. So the biggest thing is the accessibility. So different programs will suit different clients depending on their needs. Certain programs, as you may be aware of, like in Canada, requires you to have residency. Certain programs, such as in the Caribbean, do not require residency. So depending on the client needs, some clients are able to live in a country for an extended period of time to get a passport. Some clients are not able to live there due to their business needs. So depending on their needs, it can be matched. So like I said, the ETA is Electronic Travel authorization, which is very easy to obtain, as you can see. And we cover a wide range, everything from Caribbean, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, to Malta, to European countries such as Malta, Portugal, Canada, and things like that. Next. So now I'll pass this on to my colleague, Nicholas, to talk about Portugal. This is a very exciting program. Portugal being in Europe and having one of the most powerful passports. So we feel there's a lot of demand in Bangladesh. So we'd like to go more in depth in this program.
Thank you, Zaki. I really appreciate the introduction. If I may just recap, I think, a few very important points that you mentioned. As you say, I mean, Bangladesh had been the fastest growing segment of acquiring new millionaires. So, and we see that the rate of participation to this segment of the population in acquiring a second residency or citizenship is about 10%. So we see here that there is a large, untapped, and still fast-growing market. I know that we talk about it when we prepare this intervention, and we debated about including also some other of the program we were offering, such as Canada or Ireland, but definitely our fellow practitioners that are participating to this event are all very familiar with Canada. And in order to have a little bit more efficient time-wise events, we decided not to extend on all the offers that we are giving for Portugal, for Canada, in order to be able to support them. So really here we're going to focus on two main directions. I think Portugal, because we realize that among all the partners we have in Bangladesh, this has been a very high demand. It represents today one of the fastest growing program with extremely high reputation. It's a residency program that leads to citizenship. People are, very happy with it, because during the time of the crisis, it's one of the few countries that really shine as per the management of the health sanitary situation. And after we will go over Caribbeans, because as you know, Zaki, among all the people we speak to, I mean, this is still a high in demand segment, where unfortunately some of the professionals in Bangladesh are still maybe not that much familiar or have the right support locally to be able to service their clients. So this is what we're going now to try to achieve by enlarging the reach through at least those two segments, but obviously being able to offer way more than that upon request. We try to be, concise in time, so we will not spend too much time on each segment, but obviously at the end of this session, we will open the floor for any question. You have here in the Zoom platform the capacity in the Q&A section to list all your questions to any of the participants, and at the end of the presentation we will try to answer most of them. The one we cannot answer, if we have too many questions, we will definitely make sure to answer you by email, so we have all your contact information. The one that are not sure to have left proper contact information, please make sure that you update or you remind us about the proper way to contact you when you write the question, so that at least we make sure to address it properly. So if I may move now on the next slides, as I say, Portugal had been a very popular program, not only in Bangladesh, I think in the entire Southeast Asia and beyond. Investaureum is a development company in partnership with Golden Visa Consultancy. We are offering the program of Portugal under all its forms, but mainly for the rehabilitation project. What to say, Portugal is an amazing country. I think this is an understatement. It's not only a country, it's a multitude of country inside a country, despite its small place, because we have a huge variety of landscape. From Porto to Lisbon, to the Silver Coast, to the Algarve. We will go now through the next few slides to see what it looks like, but it's definitely, I think, a very, very diverse scheme. So the investment scheme in Portugal is a very popular one, as I say. The program had been created in 2012 by the government till today, it had been very successful. We have been promoting this program all over the world, and I mean, we see the growth of application. I mean, coming on a regular basis. Lately, we were able, even during the crisis, to see very good numbers in terms of application, meaning that the interest, even in period of crisis, of investment in Portugal remains. And I believe that we will be able to satisfy most of your clients. So as I say, I mean, we have few big cities, and I think the next 4 slides will just show you the amazing landscape of Portugal has to offer. This is a fantastic view on Porto from Gaia on the other side of the riverbank, with a very dynamic and powerful city. Porto is the industrial capital of Portugal. It's located in the northern part of the country. Most of the industry is in the north of the country. And as you can have, you know, it's hard to say on one small pictures, but definitely the vibe of the city is fantastic. So the next great city had been, I mean, the capital of the Fado. I think this is why we did put this pictures. And Lisbon is among many other cities in Portugal, but I think is very known for its artistic scene, beyond the fact of being the capital of Portugal. We have also other regions that are not least attractive. Alentejo, where we have one of our projects. I think it's definitely one of the most beautiful and still quite unknown area of Portugal. They call it the new Tuscany because of its resemblance in terms of landscape to what we can see in Italy. Algarve, it's a southern part of Portugal, very much known for all its resorts, golf, and definitely pure beauty, as you can see on this beautiful sunset. So it's not difficult to tell you that Portugal is the place to be, and even more today. I've moved in Portugal about 2 years ago, and I mean, this is a country I really appreciate more and more every day, that has a lot to offer. A lot of offers a lot to offer in many aspects. I mean, in 2019, Portugal won 39 awards at the World Travel Award. It has been chosen as a Europe leading destination for 3 years in a row, from 2017 to 2019. As you all know, Portugal is one of the founding members of Schengen area. I mean, one of the first members to join since 1995. Portugal has an extremely dynamic diplomacy on the European scene. It is a sector of tourism has been growing at a very rapid pace prior to the COVID. We don't have the statistic yet for the post-COVID, and it's also one of the safest country in the world. It ranked in the top 5 in the past 5 years, and it was ranked 3rd last year. And finally, as Zaki mentioned, I think the Portugal Golden Visa is definitely one of the strongest residency program in the world, with a large number of investors and the best quality price, I would say, combination that exists. We have in Portugal a very strong passport. Zaki mentioned it to you. It's ranked 5th in the world in terms of power, meaning on the ability to travel and to visit countries visa-free. In terms of investment, because I mean, whenever we are considering coming to a program, I think it's very important to understand the quality of the country in terms of welcoming new investment. The famous Standard & Poor's and Moody's and Fitch, which are a credit rating agency, classify Portugal as investment quality level, which I think it's a very, very good sign for most of the foreign investors. Also, interesting fact, speaking with most of the investment funds, we are understanding that the investors are searching for hotel assets due to their high rentability. So this is why with Investaureum, we focused on developing and rehabilitating property to turn them into touristic destination, having a stronger exit strategy for most of the investors, because we understand that as an immigration practitioner, one of the first criteria of qualification for you in order to engage a client is to be able to give him the security of his residency and as well as the security of his investment. Also, price raised a lot in Portugal, in Lisbon and other parts of Portugal, which shows a very dynamic real estate sectors. So why Portugal? I mean, I think it's pretty easy for me to speak about it. I moved there, as I say, with my family, and definitely my criteria of selections were no different than the one of any of our fellow investors. The first will be the healthcare system. It's a very strong network of about 1,500 public and private hospitals. There are in excess of 120,000 health professionals in Portugal. There is free access to the medical system whenever you live in Portugal. So I think this is something very, very much praised by any investor looking to relocate. In terms of safety, as I mentioned, I mean, Portugal is regularly ranked in the top 5 safest country in the world. I mean, it's definitely the safest one among the active and touristic country, which has a lot to offer. Socially speaking, I mean, what to say about that? The Portuguese people are very welcoming. They always make the efforts to welcome you, to understand you, to adapt themselves to the culture of the foreigners. And I think whenever you go out in Portugal, you feel very happy about the cuisine, about the social life. And I think this is a very important factor whenever someone is considering moving in a country. So this is not this. I think most of you who have, I mean, kids or investors who have children are always putting education on top of the list as well. I mean, along with healthcare and safety whenever they're considering moving to a country. With that regard, I believe that Portugal has nothing to be ashamed of with the education system. A very strong public education system completed by a good private one. You have to understand that in Portugal, a lot of the university will also deliver classes in English. A lot of French and English undergraduate scheme, as well as high school, which allows the international students to feel more welcome and actually to have a good transition before turning to the Portuguese language if they wish so. The education system also shows a lot of pride in Portugal because in some field of expertise, such as architecture, for example, they got 2 Nobel Prize of architecture. And, you know, I mean, I can speak a lot about the education system. Obviously, we don't have that much time about it, but I think this is really one of the shining points of Portugal that Portugal has to offer. Climate, I mean, obviously, when someone wants to move to a country, I think the climate is always I mean, of consideration. The advantage of Portugal being on a coastal line is that it receives a tremendous number of light. The hours of suns per year is the highest among all the capital in the world, with almost 3,000 hours received each year and more than 200 days per year of full sun. So, coming back to the program itself, I wanted to share some statistics over the next 3 slides. If you can see, in 2018, we had about 1,400 residency permits that have been approved, with China, Turkey, Brazil, South Africa, and Vietnam as being the highest contributor of this program. Also, at this time, we had received almost $1 billion investment, 838 million to be precise. And interesting statistics is about the subparagraph 3 and 4 of the real estate investment, because we are seeing that most of the people were investing in the traditional real estate, and about 165 investors did invest in what we call rehabilitation project. If we move to 2019, which is the next slide, you will see that these numbers and this proportion change. I mean, from 1,200, we are down to 946 in order for the traditional real estate sectors, but we're up to 214, which is more than 50% increase in the rehabilitation sectors. This is not a small statistics, because it shows the attractiveness not only from the investment fund as far as the exit strategy is concerned that we were mentioning a bit earlier, but also in terms of the hand investors attracting it. I think more and more investors all over the world, especially now in this post-COVID, are going to look at a lower investment point with more security. And I think that 280,000 and 350,000 real estate with rehabilitation, it's definitely showing a lot of attention and attractiveness. Now, the next slide is just to show you, I mean, it's not fully updated because it's only reflected until January 2020, but it shows you the popularity of the program since its inception in October 2012, with over 5 billion investment receipts, which makes it one of the most popular programs in the world. And we had 14,000 residency permits issued since this time. So we are here with a very, very, very strong program. I didn't want to leave some statistic out regarding tourism market. I think all of the programs that we are developing are dealing with tourism activity. Whenever you consider developing an hotel or any hospitality business, I think the tourism numbers are excessively important to look at. In Portugal, we have 12% raise in tourism over the past years. Obviously, this statistic is not reflecting yet what we saw during the COVID crisis, but I think Portugal, among its European partners and even the worldwide partner, was one of the least affected in terms of the tourism decrease during the post-COVID. Retail market is also interesting to look at. I think any investors who is looking at investment is also looking at what is the retail sector doing, and I think the rental price is a good indicator of the performance of the city. As you can see, in the main places of Lisbon, the rental price has been on the rise in most of them, and same thing for Porto. So if you look at all the main areas, we have seen an increase over the past few years, a steady increase in the price of the retail, which I think is very worth to be considered, because whenever you have a steady increase, it shows sustainability. So I just wanted to give you also some few words about Investaureum. So Investaureum is a development arm that we have with Visa Consultancy. It's a real estate development company, boutique size, that delivers prime heritage shattered real estate, providing long-term to medium-term added value to the client. So we always try to achieve these performances by mining the most attractive gem and trying to combine our expertise. Since in a partnership, we have immigration expertise, we have hospitality expertise, we have legal expertise, and we have also real estate expertise. So I think this combination gives us a unique flavor and flair in order to be able to identify the best property with the highest potential for our clients, and therefore securing their investment. Investaureum is also the pioneer in developing 350,000 and 280,000 golden residency program in Portugal. We are always looking at being at new trends and trying to look at different options and to be a first comer in the market by having different kind of options. I think we can move to the next slide, because I'll talk about our team. So what we do many, three things. As I say, we are one of the pioneers in developing 280 and 350,000 property, and I mentioned that as what we do because we always try to identify and be the first one to come with a different option on the market. We also conceive, develop, and build projects all over Portugal, in particular in prime and astonishing locations such as Douro Valley and Alentejo, that are a little bit less known to the public, but with amazing potential and the fastest growing rate of capital gain that we can see in the market. And we also do tailor-made solutions, meaning that if we have investors that are identifying a specific need, we will design and develop something for them. Here I'm going to go quickly over a few of our past development, ongoing development, and maybe future development. So Palacio de Canaveses is one of our hotel that we almost finished to build. It's operated by Campbell Gray, and it's seated on the river at the entrance of the Douro River, about 25 minutes south of Porto, and it consists on the rehabilitation of a former thermal spa that we are giving a second life to that. As I say, it's operated by the Grey. It's going to be a thermal clinic spa hotel, and it's I mean, a fantastic location. I mean, when you come and you land there, you just don't want to leave. It's going to be for a bit longer term stay because it's catering the health and spa segment. So obviously, usually we expect people to stay a little bit longer in this kind of facilities, and the landscape is just fantastic. The project was for 45 investors and raised 12.2 million. It's sold out. I mean, this is not something that we have available on the market today because it's a project that has been completed, and the construction will finish most likely by the end of the year, with entering operation early 2021. So second project we have is a residential apartment building. It has no buyback. I think we're going to watch a small video to allow you to have an idea on what we are talking about. So the project is located in Porto. It's really near the Douro River. It's called Praça de Alegria. I mean, the neighborhood. As you can see here, it stands, I mean, a few minutes away from the river and the historical center. It consists of the rehabilitation of an old building on which we are giving a second life. We are developing this building into 16 units, 16 apartments that are luxury apartments. The destination of those apartments is mainly for short-term rental. As you can see, it's a very modern and contemporary look. It's designed to be efficient for the comfort of the guests. You can welcome small families. We already sold 12 of those 16 units, so we have four units left. I think it's a very interesting project. Here you can see the modern looks, the nice views. This project didn't start construction. I mean, just started construction actually early September, and is set to be finished in 18 months. So here we just look at the design. As you see, all the units are in duplex, meaning over 2 floors, and the last one being the 5th floor. No Cascais, it's another project that we completed. It's a residential area that is by the ocean in Portugal, near Lisbon. It's, I would say, the chic and upscale neighborhood of Portugal. As you can see, we are renovating a former palacio that had a lot of history, and in partnership with a Portuguese designer named Vilch. The idea, because the palacio is really sitting in a prime AAA plus location, was that is also the museum neighborhood of Cascais. So the idea was to really mix the two worlds, the old and the new, and having in the new the integration of an artist because of our location in the museum area. So Vilch is very known for his micro explosion art technique, and I believe that the project we designed with him really speaks and give all its dimension to the fantastic product that is going to be created there. It's going to be a boutique hotel operated by a small leading hotel of the world. So it's not a large operation. We're talking about 20 room operation, very luxury, very unique in its design, and definitely, I mean, a jewel in Portugal today that most of you will see in many magazines as a prime recommendation of destination. Here comes one of our latest developments, the Royal São Paulo Hotel. It's located in Vila Viçosa. We're going to show you a small movie on the area and the project itself so that you understand a little bit more about the beauty of this region. Alentejo is, Villa Viçosa is sitting in Alentejo by the municipality of Évora. It is a UNESCO patrimony city. With a lot of castles, beautiful garden, amazing landscape, a lot of vineyards. It's about an hour and a half from Lisbon, door to door. Very easy to access because it's only highways. From the highway, you go directly to the resort. As you can see here, we have the main place. So the city is built around a lot of squares. We had a former monastery that became a factory that now we are rehabilitating with a group called Anantara in order to be able to become a 5-star luxury hotel. Indoor restaurants, spa, top of the line, patio, pool, 50 meters pool, a lot of amenities that you can expect to find in any of those luxury hotels. The project is consisting of 75 investors for the first phase. Then we have an hotel that will comprise about 86 hotel rooms, 86 key. This hotel will, the first phase was welcoming 75 investors. In those 75 investors, and now while I'm going to give you those details, we're going to go over some of the nice design about the hotel. So the investors are investing with a buyback scheme where you put 280,000 plus applicable fees. Under this scheme, you're going to recover the 280,000, meaning that you have a put and call option. You will not be able to keep the apartment, the hotel units at the end of your process. Once you get the citizenship decision, we will call you back and you get back your 280,000. At the end of the first year of operation, you have a lease agreement with Anantara that gives you a guaranteed 3.25% income, and then a 4% on the from the 4 years and onward. So that's conclude the part on Portugal. I think you got a good grasp on what we have to offer. I will pass the floor over to Michael to go over the Caribbean islands. Again, we try to be concise. I'm just introducing Michael that I've been working on the Caribbean for the Southeastern Asia partners. Is going in order to be able to be efficient to highlight in common interest in Caribbean islands, and then run you through a few examples. So I will pass the floor to Michael, and thank you again for your attention.
Hello, everyone. I will be speaking in this presentation about the 5 Caribbean island programs. Next, please. Those 5 programs are St. Kitts, Dominica, Antigua, Grenada, and St. Lucia. In these 5 programs, as you will see, that they present, they provide the same advantages, and they require the same qualifications, and they also require the same type of investment. The main question in those 5 programs is the choice of the client. 90% and more than the 90%, the client chooses the cheapest option, because all these 5 programs, they allow, as you saw in the page 10 in the passport index, when the client or the investor acquires the passport, he will be able to travel visa-free to UK, all the Schengen area, Singapore and Hong Kong. In addition, for Grenada, he will be able to travel for China visa-free. Also, in this program, in those 5 programs, the qualifications are very simple. The investor, he should hold no criminal record. He should be in good health. He should be able to make the necessary investment. He should be able to justify the source of wealth, and in the time when he's applying for the application, he should have no visa refusal in the countries where the programs offer visa-free access. What are the advantages that those programs they offer for the client? As we mentioned, they will have the access visa-free. They will also be able to circulate freely between the CARICOM countries. They will acquire the citizenship in less than 6 months. On average, it's 4 months. Dependent children and parents can be included in these programs. There should be no interview needed, no physical residency requirement, no requirement to travel to the country during the application process, no tax on worldwide income, no tax for non-resident, no education nor managerial experience requirements, and no language knowledge is required. Therefore, the process to acquire the passport, it's very easy, straightforward. Also, I will mention some differences before moving to the slide. I will also mention some small differences or advantages that some programs have over the others. Other than the price, which is the main factor for the client choice. For example, for Grenada and St. Lucia, some clients, they can, these two programs, they offer the financial sponsor. It means that the main applicant can have another sponsor that is financing his investment, and he will be able to include him in the program. For Grenada and St. Kitts, they can offer also a sibling. It means that brothers and sisters of the main applicant can be also included in the application. So this can be a choice for some clients to choose to Grenada or St. Kitts. And in the Grenada program also, it offers the applicant the E2 program. Once the applicant will receive the passport, he will be eligible to go to USA or to apply for the E2 program. Him and his family members by investing a subsequent amount of capital in US business. Also, Grenada programs, it doesn't require any proof of education for the kids of the main applicant, nor the dependent parents. Sometimes this can be a factor for the investor to choose the Grenada program. Next, please. After the COVID-19, most of the programs, they did offer incentives, temporary incentives. They finishes December 2020. They did offer a price reduction on some type of investment. Some of them also, they did facilitate the application process by accepting documents online by the time of the application, and they did facilitate the whole process. Next, please. Okay, the first program that I will be speaking about in details is St. Kitts and Nevis. We have those 5 programs. I will speak about the St. Kitts and Nevis in details. Next, please. And also St. Lucia. In this program, I will go in details to show you what are the investment options and how we calculate the cost of each program. As you can see here in this slide, we have two types of investment, okay? The investor, he can choose either to invest in donation, in government funds donation, or he can choose the option of pre-approved real estate investment. If he chooses the donation, for the main applicant, it will be 150,000. If he wants to include his spouse, he will pay additional 25,000. And if he wants to include his dependent children or parents, regardless their age, he will be paying 10,000 additional per application. As you can see down in the same slide, again, for the COVID-19 situation, the government did also introduce contribution of a family of 4 members, $150,000 US investment instead of 195,000. This is a temporary until end of December 2020. When the client also, he will have the option to invest in real estate investment, he will be required to make an investment of $200,000 resellable after 7 years in St. Kitts and Nevis. Next slide, please. In addition of the required investment, the investor should also pay the cost of due diligence fees for him, $7,500. If he will include his spouse or the dependent children, any type of any dependent will pay additional 4,000 as due diligence fees. As we did mention also, he can include his financial sponsor. He will also pay $4,000 fees for due diligence. He will also pay other fees like passport fees per applicant, $500, and official form fees per applicant, $250. He will also have the option of fast track fees if he wants to invest additional money to acquire the passport in shorter time. For the real estate investment, the investor also shall pay government fees, $35,000 for the main applicant, for the spouse $20,000 additional, and for each dependent applicant under the age of 30, which are the children of the main applicant, or above the 55, which are the dependent parent of the applicant, he shall pay additional $10,000 per applicant. Next, please. In this slide of St. Kitts and Nevis, we did put a table for the donation option that will facilitate for you to see the calculation process based on the above pages, and to see what is the total number of investment that he will be investing if he is a single applicant, a family of 4, or a family of 6. We took those 3 examples. For sure, we can do any combination, any age, and any number of family members. In this example, if he is a single applicant, as you can see, for the donation, we will follow all the necessary fees and donation that he will make the investor. We can see that the total number will be $158,000 for a single applicant. For a family of 4, 8 children, 13 and 19, he will be investing $168,000. For a family of 6, age children 5, 7, 13 and 19, he will be investing $190,360. I will go in the same slide, let's say in the due diligence fees. Why it's 7,500? Because he is a single applicant alone. In the family of 4, it's 15,500. As you can see in the previous slides, we did provide for you details. $15,000, it's a single applicant, 7,500. He will add another additional 4,000 due diligence for his spouse. His children, the 19 years old, because he is or she is above the 16 years old, will also add 4,000. And for the children that is less than 16, in this case is 13, is $0. So the total number will be 15,500. He will also add official form per applicant, which is $250 per applicant, times 4 for a family of 4, it will be $1,000. For registration and police certificate fees is $60 per applicant, times 4 again, it will be $240. For passport fees, which are $500 per single applicant, times 4 again, it will be $2,000. This is the calculation process for each type of investment and for any type of family members. It's the same process will be applicable for a family of 6. Please, we can go for the next slide. Okay, in the real estate of investment, it is the same process of the calculation to what is related to due diligence, official form per applicant, registration and police certificate fees, and the passport fees. In this type of investment, the investor, he should also pay additionally governmental fees, which is $35,000 for single applicant, and he will pay a fixed share of registration fees of $11,000 regardless the number of applicants. In the family of 4, as we did mention above, he will be paying $35,000 for a main applicant. For the spouse, he will pay $20,000 additional as a governmental fees, and $10,000 for each dependent children or parent. In the example of family of 4, children age 13 and 19, as we can see, the governmental fees of application processing is $75,200, which is the $35,050 for the main applicant, $20,050 for the spouse, and $10,000 for the children age 13 and 19. So therefore, the total amount will be $75,200. For the family of 6, as we can see in the table, the total amount of governmental fees will be $95,300. It's the same process of calculation. In the last slide, we will go a little bit later on the last slide. We can see, we did provide for you a comparison table between the 5 programs, the type of investment, and we will be showing you which type of investment will be the cheaper amount on the client. Next slide, please. Okay, for Antigua, next slide, please. For Antigua and the rest of the programs, I will be also passing fast because it's the same type of investment and it's the same type of calculation. The investor also here, he has the choice to invest either in donation, either on pre-approved government project. Next slides, please. Also here, you will be finding in the presentation the amount resulted for each type of investment depending on the family members. Next slides, please. Here also, we can see the investment in real estate. Next slides, please. Grenada also, next, requires previous slides, please. No, previous slides. Also, the investor, he will have the option investing either in governmental funds or pre-approved government project. All of them, they require due diligence fees, additional fees, and governmental fees. Next slides, please. You can also see here in this slide the same process and the same way to calculate the total required investment needed. Next. This is the real estate project. Next. Dominica. Next, please. The same also is applicable for Dominica. The client, he has the choice of investing either in funds or pre-approved governmental project. Next, please. Also here, you can see it's the same type of fees are required. Next, please. The same table here in the donation type, it's the same way to calculate. Again, in the real estate project, it's the same way to calculate. Next, please. In St. Lucia, in this one, again, I will go in details like the St. Kitts and Nevis. Next, please. In this one, I will pass in details because here the only difference between St. Lucia and the other programs is the post-COVID government bonds that the St. Lucia government is offering. As you can see here in the table, the investor, he has the choice to invest either in donation, it will cost him $100,000, additional for his spouse $40,000, or he can choose the family of 4 option where he will invest $150,000, him and his 2 dependent children or his dependent family parents. If he choose to include additional family members other than the 4 numbers in total, he will be paying $50,000 per dependent applicant. Or as we can see in the same slide, if he will invest the main applicant with 1 dependent child, for example, he will invest $100,000 plus $25,000 dependent applicant. It can be children or a parent. He will be investing $125,000. If he opt for a real estate pre-approved government project, he will be investing $300,000 regardless the number of applicant as a minimum investment, and he will be able to sell back the real estate after 5 years. As we can see also in the same program in St. Lucia, the investor, he has the choice to invest in the government bonds. He will it start $250,000 for him and the family up to 4 members. If he wants to include additional dependent, he will be investing $15,000 for each additional dependent. As you can see here, there are different type of combination for a family of 4. Either he can invest $250,000 holding period 7 years, or $300,000 he shall invest, but for a holding period for 5 years. Next slide, please. Here also he will be investing for due diligence fees, for other fees like passport fees, application fees that he is obliged to invest, and government fees for the real estate projects. Next slide, please. Again, this is a table showing all the process, what are the fees that he should pay additionally if he opts for donation, or for donation for a single applicant, family of 4, and a family of 6 people in total. Next slides, please. Here in the real estate investment, again, as we did mention, the minimum amount is $300,000. He shall pay additionally due diligence fees, application process fees. Again, here mandatory, he should pay governmental fees for single applicant or family of 4 and a family of 6, and passport fees. Next slide, please. In St. Lucia, as we did mention, we have the COVID-19 bonds. He should be investing a minimum amount of $250,000 for a single applicant or family of 4, and a family of 6. He should pay, as we did mention, if he opt for a family of 6 holding period of 5 years, it will be 300,000, plus he will pay additionally here if he will invest in 5 years government bonds, he will be investing 250,000, plus he should pay $15,000 for each additional applicant. Also, he should pay mandatory fees, governmental fees of fixed $30,000 fixed amount, regardless the number of applicants. Next slides, please. In those 3 slides that will come, we did do a comparison table for the 5 programs. Single applicant, as we can see in this table, the cheapest option for the donation will be St. Lucia. For the pre-approved real estate, for the single applicant, the cheapest option is Dominica, and for the government COVID-19 bonds, the only option available is St. Lucia. Next slides, please. For a family of 4, aged 13 and 19, in the slides, we can see that the cheapest option for a donation for a donation type of investment will be Antigua. For a family of 4, again, the cheapest option in the real estate pre-approved projects will be Antigua again. For the COVID-19 bonds, the only available option is St. Lucia. Next slide, please. For a family of 6, age children 5, 7, 13, and 19, the cheapest option for a donation will be St. Kitts and Nevis. For a real estate pre-approved project will be Dominica. For COVID-19 bonds, the only option available is St. Lucia. Next slides, please. Okay, this is our offices around the world. You can see, you can contact us, or you can send us any questions if you have on our website, WeChat or Telegram, or any other way to contact us by email also. Feel free to ask any questions and we will provide the answers directly. Nicolas, you want to add anything, or Zakir, you want to add anything?
Thank you, Michael. I think I would like to just summarize your presentation. As you say, I believe, and people understood clearly from your presentation, it is important to note that in the Caribbean, we have many options existing. The decision-making factors is according to few elements you mentioned. Either you want to include or not a sibling, either you want to access China visa-free, or you want to have access to the E2. It might be, for example, because you want to include a sibling, you are a single applicant, and you are looking for the most affordable option. You are a family of 6, you want to recover your money. So I believe this is very important for each applicant to really consider. It's I think a really good analysis you made with the tables, because we can clearly see that in function of the family structure, assuming that everybody has the same other criteria, the prices and the interest shift from one program to the other. The capacity we have, I think, to provide all the solution is of great help and support to all our partners, because obviously we will always have the most optimal solution for all the investors. As we said at the beginning, I mean, this is few among many programs we offer to support our consultant. We try to just open the floor for few options, basically to all of fellow participants. I mean, we are welcoming all your questions. This is no or this is later by email. We will make sure to answer you on a timely manner. You can come to visit the office also in Dhaka. I mean, Zakir is presently abroad, but we can always arrange after for one-to-one visit to your offices. I mean, we're here on Zoom as well, on different platform, as Michael did mention just before. So I will let maybe the final word of Zakir while we are waiting a few minutes to see if you have some questions. I think question can be asked either by the chat or by the Q&A, and I think I will pass the word to Zakir to conclude, unless we have some questions. Please feel free.
So thank you, Nick. Basically, we are available in Bangladesh. So if you have any questions, I know this is a lot of information to digest in a short period of time. But for further clarity, we're available in the Dhaka office, and we can meet as per convenience. And with COVID, if you would like a Zoom call or a WhatsApp call, we're always available to answer and clarify further. But this is an interesting time, which I believe that for Bangladeshi clients, there's a lot of potential. And we have been on operation and we have seen growth. So we are trying to expand through partners like you. So we hope in the future we can work with you. So we look forward to hearing from you. And again, any questions you have, just pick up the phone, give us a call in the Bangladesh office, or send us an email. We'll be happy to respond to any queries that you may have.
Thank you, Zakir. I will just conclude by saying that for the one that are interested in receiving the PDF version of this presentation, please feel free to drop us an email, and we'll be happy to share the presentation with the one that are interested in receiving it. So once again, thank you for all. Thank you for our wonderful marketing support to have hosted this on Zoom, and we certainly will assist you in the near future.
Thank you.
Thank you.